Okay. So another episode of JAYSTRAYS. We're down here at the Angel Island State Park. We're waiting for a ferry. There's an early morning ferry. We missed it by like 15 minutes because we drove from another state, and there was a little unpredictable weather on the pass. Like I was going through snow and clouds. I wish I would have got all that on video. So this is episode 55 at the Jason or Jason e-bike. Get a nice IPA, and we're waiting on a horse. In this case, we're waiting on a boat. So follow me. We're gonna have to go over to the south part of the overlook of here, the island. There's San Francisco in the background, but since we missed the earlier ride, we're going two legs here. We're going to San Francisco first, and then we're going to take a second waypoint and go from San Francisco back over to Angel Island. So it's going to be quite the grand tour today, and we're going to be e-biking over Angel Island. All right, so thanks for joining me. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. We had to catch it. It's a seaplane. Yeah. So I'm still here waiting for the boat. There's some like repairs happening or something, and there's some sort of bus like situation happening. I'm not sure if I have to drive over to San Fran and catch that 155, but so abracadabra, we're on the other side. All right, so we made it to the other side of the island. There's some difficulties, but we're gonna make it. So we're up in this campground here, and so that's where we're headed right now, is up this fire road, and then we're gonna go set up our tent. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. Thanks for joining me. All right, so we found our camp spot. Nobody else is here. I mean, all sites were reserved, but maybe they're late arrivals. Perhaps they missed the ferry. Right there is another ferry. And there's Fort McDowell below. That's Angel. No, that's not Angel. That's Yerba Buena. Or maybe it's Treasure Island over there. And you can see part of the Golden Gate. Got an old tanker over there. All right. Trusty Jason got us here to our spot. Angel Island. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. Thanks for joining me. We got a big boat. It's about to come around the corner here. Let's get a little closer. A huge, looks like a tanker. And goods have got to get to market. Pretty sweet. Looks like he's followed by like a little tug. Let's see, is that a little tug behind him? Yeah, it's like a little tugboat. Just making sure he's good. Or he's just a boat and using his wake to cut through the water faster. You never know. Yeah, nothing like catching a jet flying over. Might have just came from SFO. Then you got the dueling sailboats down there. You got those two, they're going neck and neck. And then there's this huge wake from that ship way over there. And then you got this dude pulling up a third over here in this other yacht. So it's like, you know, a regatta. JAYSTRAYS, regatta on Angel Island, episode 55. Thanks for joining me. All right, well, now that we've got our provisional campsite, now we need to set up our peak one. This is the peak one for one person, and I haven't used this tent before. This is brand new. I have two other peak ones in my arsenal We wanted to continuously upgrade our gear, so we wanted Coleman's newest offering. And then for those that buy this, just to let you know, inside of the tent bag here shows you everything that you need. Shows you how to pack it, shows you how to do it without the rain fly, shows you how to put in the tent poles, how to set it up, and I think it's in other languages too. Brought to you in part by our friends at Coleman. Alright, so we're going to get this thing going. Thanks for joining me. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. So it was like showing how to just put the stakes in right off the bat. I found it's better to actually put the poles in first, then you can situate your stakes. So we got our first pole in. Let's put our second one in. Best to kind of pinch it with your hands. There's the peak one before staking it down. Now mind you, this is the one man, and I'm only one man. Here's this little guy. He's going to go from side to side. We'll put that in here in just a second, and that'll spread out the walls a little bit. Let's do that. The center pole. Gives a little more headspace and rigidity. There we go. So there's the peak one. I'll put on the rain fly in a little bit. Gonna put some gear in there. Let's keep on rocking. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. All right, so not too bad. We got the peak one man set up. This is the first time we've set this guy up. There is a little stick here, and it opens up a little porthole, and this also unzips here, and it's a skylight kind of thing where I can see out of it. You see, this is a very lean, mean machine. Coleman Peak 1. All right,
So we're all set up there. We're gonna get some vittles going here, not too distant future. Let's try to see if we can set up that skylight real quick. Fort McDowell. You can see some ramparts right there. There's a little trail down there. We're gonna go see if we can walk down to that little rampart here in a minute. We just wanted to show you one more time on the Peak 1 here that we just set up. This is a new acquisition. It fits perfectly on one of my little saddlebags here. Actually, the bag's full and I'm able to put it, if you saw earlier in the video when I was at the dock, I have it mounted right here in the sleeping bag here. But here's that skylight. So you can see that I'm able to look at the stars and I get plenty of oxygen. And I can, you know, always button that back up again. See this wonderful view. All those wallflowers. Very rustic. Very nice day. We got our lovely barbecue right over there. And we're going to be setting up to cook up some good food. Alright, well, now that the tent is set up, we're getting some mise en place, which is French for everything in its place. So we need to assimilate some things. Always good to have something that you can handle objects that are hot, pans and what have you. We've got a little pan right here that we can put our cut vegetables as we're getting ready to saute. And so here at the Angel Island amusement park, as it were, they do not allow fire with wood. There's lots of wood, but you can't use it because they had a bad fire here back in like 2007 or 2008 is what I was told. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to utilize an existing system. So we didn't bring briquettes or anything, but I have two micro stoves that I'm going to be placing under here, and then I can cook steak and my vegetables here, and then also I can park in the back the mushrooms sauteing and that sort of thing. So we're going to do a little bit more prep work on this and then set up our stoves. Pretty good. Now, gotta have fuel for these guys. Coleman makes a lot of different stoves. But I'm always trying to go for the smallest and lightest. Oops. Smallest and lightest. That's one of the stoves. Then I have a secondary stove, also Coleman. This one actually is Exponent. This is the F1 Ultralight. This guy is only a few ounces. Again, the same principle. Loosen the head, and then the legs will spread out, and then you can tighten it back up again. Okay, and then again, another fuel canister. And so there we have it. So we got the F1 Ultralight. We have the Peak 1. We'll fire these up and see how these are doing. Let's not wait. Let's get this going. Tablespoons. Seems like not very much, but this guy, besides water. Only calls for water, but give it some more flavor profile. Alright, let's get the rice on. Park it over here. Switch places with that. Pause here for, so we got our planks so you can get nice grill marks on them. We cleaned this really thing. We actually cleaned it with a rock because who knows how many thousands of meals have been cooked on this thing. And then we got our rice going. And you see these catamarans. They're like high-speed catamarans. I want to ride one really bad. I might do it tomorrow. But you see how fast they go. And there's the Bay Bridge over there. And there's Oakland. And tomorrow we're going to see President Brown in Berkeley. On the turn. Those grill narcs, baby. JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. Finished product. Caramelized mushrooms on a boneless chuck. Rice pilaf. Squash grilled. And garlic bread. Bon appetit, JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. JAYSTRAYS. Well, it's JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. We're still here at Angel Island. Oh, we packed up the Xenon, we left our campsite, and now we're still on the east side of the island. We're actually past Fort McDowell. Now there's the Immigration and Customs Center where they actually detained foreign nationals at certain periods of time. But here at JAYSTRAYS, we try to not be too political here, but we know some of the trespasses against people here in this country. So you got a nice view of the East Bay. Got some guy fishing in his boat over there. I wonder how clear and clean that water is. There's just a lot of boat traffic, so I'm not sure. I think if I wanted to swim in the Pacific, I mean I could lay out down there, but I would rather be swimming on the other side of the Point Reyes Peninsula, be up by Bodega Bay, or be on the other side and be down south in the Monterey Peninsula area, Monterey Bay.
just because there's just a little bit too much boating activity. You can see that, and there's just a continuous. There was a huge boat that went by just a minute ago, but we're just enjoying some tranquil time before we get on the ferry here in less than an hour to head back to Tiburon. So, JAYSTRAYS episode. We're the only ones here waiting on the ferry. Supposed to be here at 10:20. It's about 10:05. Beautiful blue day. E-bike is outstanding. And this was a perfect destination. Perfect little overnighter. We're just waiting to go back over to Tiburon. JAYSTRAYS episode 55. I see a boat coming this direction. It could actually be the ferry. Pretty sweet. That could be what we're looking for. And that's almost here. All right. So we made the ferry. Departing. The boat has storage for the bike underneath. We're standing on the upper deck. Oh, look at that big seagull. A perfect day.
Supposedly that's the island that the convicts, including that Clint Eastwood portrayed in that movie, escaped from Alcatraz, made it to this island, not Frisco. Supposedly. All right. There's the Frisco ferry. You can see it off in the distance. Light sailboat beside it. Look at the wake it's kicking up. That thing's huge. Casual ride. I in your way?
No,
okay. Okay.
We're in a very good distance.
Okay.
Usually when people are like directly behind me or like directly next to me, I'm like, hey.
Don't want to hit you with this.
That's like, nothing's gonna happen to me, but you might lose a tooth.
Yeah, a little rope whiplash there.
Yeah, but like not like, you know, when you're like siblings, a little kind of rope whiplash, like,
Ooh.
I could seriously hurt you.
Yeah. We don't want to, yeah, take out an eye or something.
Oh, yeah.
Private property, no tie-ups, anytime.
It's okay.
You guys are so awesome. Thanks for letting me catch a ride with you.
Yeah, of course. Why would we not? Like,
slick. Oh, I got all that on camera. I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yay. Well, uh-oh, 2 tickets to the gun show.
Heck yeah. Don't worry, it's my first day.
Yes. And she did it. She scored it on the first shot. Hook, line, and sinker.
No, I've been here for like 10 years.
So that's going to wrap another episode of JAYSTRAYS, episode 55. We were here in Tiburon, where we launched and took the ferry to Angel Island. We camped overnight. We used our e-bike. Tried out our brand new Peak 1 tent, which was a success. Was able to utilize the camping facilities and cook. Had a gourmet meal. And then had a wonderful ferry ride back. And met Becky, the girl on the rope. So good day. So take care from Northern California. We'll see you in the next wonderful video. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks guys. Take care.